Hey you guys, welcome back for another video. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley. I'm super excited that you stopped by to listen to this video today. This video is just going to be a chatty video and another day in the life video where I have been documenting kind of my whole realm and spectrum of feelings through this quarantine time. I mentioned that I debated on doing like a good things video that has come from this time. And I debated on it because, well, if you want to know why, you can go back and watch that day in the life video. But so many of you guys said, make the video, Ashley, make the good things video. So I am here today to make the good things video for you guys. As this day in time, as I am filming this, we are getting ready to enter into our 7th week of quarantining at home. We are in a state that has not lifted any restrictions yet, and we don't know when that is going to happen. So I also debated on the option of waiting to film the good things video until it was over. But then I thought, man, that kind of loses its power. Like, we can all talk about good things once we're out of them, but what about when we're in a not fun situation, to put it lightly, and we're talking about the good that God is doing? There is so much more power in that. So I am here to share good things with you in the midst of the trial. The trial is not over. It is still here. I am still living it. It is still a struggle. My brain is still tempted to go to the left and to the right constantly. But I am here to share good things with you guys that are true for my own life. Now, I said this in the day in the life video where I mentioned doing this video, but I'm going to say it here again. Focusing on good things through this time doesn't negate the fact that I know how serious it is, that I know, and my heart breaks for people who have lost their jobs, who businesses are every day wondering if they're going to survive this thing. I know healthcare workers on the front lines of it, risking their lives, you know, all of that. If you guys are new to my channel, my husband is an essential worker, and so our family has been dealing with that side of it, as well as the quarantine side, is the fact that my husband is still going out every single day to protect our area and do his function. And you know, it's a little scary when, you know, at first, especially when you're wondering, well, is he gonna bring it home because he's exposed to so many people? But so I understand the full spectrum of all of it, but I am here to just talk about the goodness that I have found in this time. And some of it I have had to really search for, and sometimes it's just been so obvious. Some of it may seem trivial, but again, this is just my experience. I would love to know what good things you have seen come out of this time for you specifically, or people in your life. Let's make the comment section super encouraging on this video, to show that good things can be found no matter what. I am a Christian. I am a faith-filled person, and I also want to quickly say that while I do not believe that God caused this in any way, shape, or form, I do know, because scripture says that he will work all things together for good. So are we there yet? Have we seen the full picture of all of the good that God is doing through this time? I can say for me, no, I don't see the full picture yet, but I trust and know that his word is true and it never changes, and that there is going to be good that comes from this. Some of it may be huge, grand scheme type change. Some of it might be little small things, but all of it can be good. And I know that God is going to be glorified through this. And part of the way that he is glorified through it is through believers sharing. So, all that. So I've got a list on my iPhone. This is just whenever I've been struck by the Spirit or felt the prompting to notice something, I have put it down in my phone. And you guys will see that that's a long list. Like I said, we've been at this thing for 7 weeks. And so the good things that we have seen come through this time, I first want to start by saying, when people are confronted with the lack of control or perceived control that they thought they had over their life, it forces non-believing people to question everything that they have set themselves up to believe, whether it be faith in the retirement system that, you know, funds them, whether it be, you know, through being healthy and thinking that, you know, they're going to get to go on and live, you know, a long life. Wherever people have placed their securities that are not in God through this time, those things have been stripped away for everybody. And it has caused people in my life and in my husband's life, and I'm not going to out people here, but this is a good thing that God is doing through this time, is allowing people to maybe question where they've placed their security and maybe get the attention of some hearts that he's been pursuing for a very long time, to hopefully turn to him. And we have seen some evidence of that with people that we love in our lives, who, you know, have not always been receptive to hearing from the Lord, and now they are. And so that has to be the number one good thing that God is doing, is I do believe he is reaching many people through this time, because people are desperate. And when you are desperate for hope and you're desperate to understand the things that cannot be understood, there is only one way to gain peace, and that is through Jesus Christ. So we have seen it, and that has to be the number one good thing that we have seen come through this time so far. The next thing that sounds pretty trivial to many of you guys, but it's significant for us, is that we have eaten dinner as a family around our dinner table every single night since this has happened. And that is amazing. We are usually very busy, and although we still always prioritize family dinners, there are some nights where it just can't be had. And so we're not a family that never eats together, but we're also not a family that gets to do it 7 days a week. And even though dinner time can be chaotic, I am not here to portray a false scene in your minds of everyone sitting down and minding their manners and no one is arguing. Even if it can be a crazy time, I am grateful that we have been able to have family dinners together every single night through this whole quarantine time. The next thing that has been good for me personally, and in turn for my family, is my sleep. I know this might sound like opposite of what some of you guys might be experiencing who are very anxiety ridden, and trust me, I have had those days. But I will say I have been sleeping much more, and I have been sleeping much better, and I've realized why. And why is because usually I am go. Kids have activities, kids have sports. I'm not getting home some nights until 8:30. By the time I get them all into bed, you know, it's 9:30. By the time I sit down after I've showered and done that, it's 10 o'clock. And I am not someone who can just go sit down, go to sleep. My husband is that way, but that is not me. I need time to decompress. And so by the time I decompress and my body is ready to go to sleep, it's like midnight some nights. And that's on a good night, 11:30. I mean, and I'm getting up at 6:30 the next day, 6:30 or 7. So I'm getting, you know, six and a half hours of sleep usually, which isn't terrible, but it's also not great. And so I had just gotten so used to that routine and that way of doing things, because there was no other way to really do it, that I have really noticed a huge improvement in many areas because I am sleeping adequately. And that is one thing that I am not excited about this whole quarantine thing ending, is getting back into that exhausted feeling. I want my kids to resume their activities because they miss them so much, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to keep this area on track because it's made a big difference in my life. The next thing that I just want to mention is that's been good is just the ability to, again, it has to do with sleep, but on the weekends. So my husband has been working this entire time, and he works, you know, long days, and he wakes up very early, and so usually on the weekends when he's home, we have things to do and get to, games, tournaments, swim meets. We always have things going on, and it would feel like a Christmas vacation gift of some type when we would look at a Saturday and there's nothing there, and we would be like, oh, we can sleep in, we can like be slow, like yay. And that is how this has been. There have been a few weeks where we have decided to get up and get going earlier, but for the most part, on the weekends, my husband has been able to get a little bit of extra sleep. I mean, we're not over here sleeping until noon, but we're resting more, and that has been a really good thing for everyone, my kids included. Another thing that has been really good is we always prioritize nature. It's a part of our getting out into nature, I should say. It's a part of our homeschool. But a lot of times what happens is I do a lot of the nature outings with the kids during the week as a part of their schooling because my husband is at work, and on the weekends we have obligations. Well, since this whole thing has happened, we have been able to do a lot more nature things, including my husband, which is just adds to the experience and it adds to the fun, especially for me to have him be there. And so we've been doing a lot of nature outings as a family. Now, our state is locked down pretty tightly, and we've had to get pretty creative with places we go, but I'm very proud of us because even when our governor is trying to make it next to impossible for people to be able to do anything, like our state parks, our trails, like he shut it all down, we are still finding a way. And I am proud of that. And it has been good to have my husband be a part of that. A couple of other things that are very, very insignificant when you think about it, but they've been good during this time, is I have taken like so many more bubble baths. That's like something I enjoy doing. I've painted my nails. I've just done more self-care stuff that I just usually don't have time to do. Self-care meaning like baths and masks and just whatever I can do to just add a little bit of joy to my day, and that has been really good. We have played more games with our kids than we usually do. We taught them how to play Phase 10, which is a fun card game if you have older kids that can understand a little bit more of a complicated game. I'm looking down at my phone. Another really awesome thing has been that my husband and I have been able to work out together. Working out has always been something that him and I have had in common and bonded over. If you know our story, we met at a gym. And so it's just always something that we have enjoyed together. And usually, you know, again, I would work out in the daytime while he's at work because when he got home, I would be shuffling kids. And with this whole thing, we've been able to just get back to that being something we do together, and it's been really enjoyable for the both of us. Another really good thing that has come out of this is that I have finally started cooking some recipes out of my cookbooks. That is something I have never done. I mean, I have followed a recipe or two. For the most part, I just kind of know a little of this, a little of that, and we call it good. But I'm not someone to take the time, because it's like a time thing and it's like a focus thing and it's like attention to detail thing to do recipes. That's just not something that I usually enjoy doing, but for whatever reason I have enjoyed it. And so we have enjoyed cooking recipes as a family, and my family has definitely enjoyed eating them. Another really great thing that has happened through this time is that my kids' activities have of course been canceled, and they're very athletic kids. It helps with behavior, it helps with anxiety, it helps with different struggles that everybody probably has, and my family is not exempt from those things. It's just not something I put out there for the world to know. So losing physical activity for us is much, and I have to explain, intense physical activity is much less about just having kids enrolled in things as it is a part of managing other things. And so certain kids of mine need intense physical activity. A walk with the dogs is not intense enough for the chemical response we need to happen. So because of that, I have been able to run with my kids and kind of push them past what they're comfortable doing, and we have really bonded over that. That has been a fun thing to do for us, me included. It's motivated me to get out and get running again, because I run always a little bit here or there, but I mean, to get into a rhythm of running again, it's been really good. So that has been fun. We have accomplished quite a few things around our house, like I think many of you guys. We've cleaned behind our appliances. We finally built like a playhouse for my youngest daughter. We touched up the paint along the stairwell where the kids and the dogs are constantly going. I've rearranged some furniture. I finally tackled my boys' bedroom and made it more functional. We've just done a lot of different, nothing huge as far as like projects, because our house is only a year old, but there were some things that just needed attention, or things that we have always been wanting to do that we have done, and that has also been good. Another thing that has been really good, and I'm looking down at my phone if you're wondering, is my kids have just had more time to be bored, which in turn has given them more time to be creative. My girls did like an at-home salon day. We did like a water day in our backyard. We did the chalk mosaic thing with the tape. We've just done so many different, they learned how to pogo stick. I could keep going, but we've done so many different things to just be creative and have new ideas. We've made homemade Play-Doh, we've made magic moon dough, we've done a lot of different things that we just would have never had time to do prior. So that has been really, really good. Another good thing that has come out of this for us, and again, my heart goes out to anyone whose experience has been different, but for us, as far as financially goes, like I mentioned, my husband is an essential worker, so he hasn't had any pay implications, meaning like reductions or anything yet. Yet being the key word. I see those in the future, but yet not. For me on YouTube, when companies are not paying to advertise, then our income here goes down. So I have lost some income, but not all of it, which I am grateful for. So both of those things to be said, we have saved money during this time. I've been doing at-home haircuts for my boys. We are just not like, we didn't travel for the 2 trips that we had already budgeted for and planned on, so that money has been set aside. We held off on doing like a front yard project that we were going to do, which was going to be a couple $1,000s. And really honestly, the biggest thing that we're saving money on is gas. I drive a Suburban and it's expensive when it comes to gas. And so I literally fill my gas tank every week when I go grocery shopping to minimize my outings. And it's always at like half a tank or 3/4 of a tank. So that tells you how much I'm driving with my Suburbans, not much at all. So we have saved money, and that does feel really, it feels really good to be able to save more money than usual. So that has been good. And another thing, and probably the last thing that I'll share here, is that it ties in with what I just shared with you guys, and with the finances, and that is we have been able to be generous to other people who are not experiencing the same things we are. I again will not mention specifics, but if you're someone who has not taken a huge pay cut through this, there are people who are hurting, and just any way that you feel led to give to them or bless them in any way, do it. And we have definitely been doing that, and it feels good to be able to tangibly assist, even if it's small, to be able to just be generous during a time where most people are thinking, oh me, I need to hold on to all of it for me because who knows what's going to happen. We don't live that way, and so it feels really good to be able to bless other people when the need is always there, but when there's more of a need, and there might be a need of someone who is right very close to you. It's not an organization, it's not a company, it might just be a person that you know. And so it's been very, very good to be able to do that. And so with all of that being said, the last good thing that I want to mention is with all of you guys here on YouTube, you guys have continued to be a space that I look forward to sharing content with. There have been some weird things that have happened with my Instagram and some situations over there, and to just see the amount of people that are willing to help me out with like reporting an account that needs to be taken down or anything like that. You guys are a continued way for me to feel like I have things to do every week, to feel like I have something to share, to feel encouraged by you sharing with me that I've encouraged you. That's how this works for me. When I put something out and people let me know, Ashlee, I needed to hear that, or Ashlee, just seeing your daily life, it helps me so much, or whatever it is, like that fuels my fire so much to keep going. And so I'm truly grateful for all of you guys. And I feel like this situation has allowed me to be even more vulnerable and transparent with all of you guys. And in turn, you've been able to see a different side of me and maybe get to know me a little bit better, or see kind of how I work through a really hard time. And in turn, I feel like that has been really good. So that is all I have for you guys. I could keep going, but it's already getting long here. So thank you for listening to the good things that God has been doing here in my life through this COVID-19 quarantine situation. Again, I'm not filming this at the end of it when I am on my Hawaiian vacation and thinking about, oh yeah, quarantine wasn't so bad. I'm filming this in the midst of it. So I'll make another video when I am on my Hawaiian vacation because that day will come, but I'm not there yet. And so I wanted to get this done before I could move out of this space. So please let me know what good things have happened in your life since this whole thing started. I would love to read them. In fact, I can't wait to read your comments on this video. So thank you so much for all of you who encouraged me to make this video. I was unsure of if I should, but I am glad that I did. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up before you go. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video really soon. Bye guys.